I'm here with dancer, performer extraordinaire Emily Sties, and today, yes, I'm so excited. I realize that we have some backlighting, but really you just need to see her overall form of her body, which is what it's all about here. We're looking at posture. We're looking at posture, just how you stand. So Emily, will you first just do a couple marches and then stop for me, please? Good. All right, so from her posture already, I mean, I can already see the side view, so I'm just trying to focus on forward. And this is not to necessarily fix, this is where you can see what's going on in the body, okay? She has herself in the mirror that she can see as we're doing this. Okay, so different things you can notice when you're observing your own posture in a mirror. You really need to make sure you do like a couple marches or something to get yourself to that relaxed position. So I can already see that this foot naturally turns out a little bit more. I can see that her foot is pronating, meaning it's coming in, rolling in a little bit more. But overall, she has pretty nice arches in her feet. Looking at her knees, instead of them pointing straight forward, I see that they're both pointing in just a little bit. That right there is a sign that her butt is a little bit weak. Not sure how weak, I haven't tested them, but that is usually a sign of butt weakness. I can also look at where her tibia is. This is just a physical therapy. I'm going to give you a bunch of stuff. I'm giving you everything, guys. I'm feeling the front part of her tibia to see if it might be rotating in one direction or more, to see if there might be some unevenness, because you really want to always compare both sides. Okay, going up. I'm not really seeing anything significant. You can relax your arms. Anything really significant with her shoulders being uneven or anything like that. But that is something to see if maybe her body might be shifted one way. You can always see on some people if one knee might be bent more than the other. That's just how they are. That's how they stand. So that's something you can always notice. And also shoulder level. A lot of times if a person is right-handed, you'll just notice that their right shoulder is just kind of down a little bit more. Okay, and I can see right here, these little parts of them tickled, huh? You're like, oh, that feels nice. It's facing straight forward. It's not rolled in, which is very good. A nice natural placement where she just lays, which is wonderful. It's great. We get a cheat. She's actually well anatomically placed. Would you please turn around and face the outside for me, please? Do 8 marches and then stop again. Okay, great. So same thing where you can look at it and you can notice here, this can also confirm, I can see that it's kind of pointing out a little bit, the backs of her knees, so that helps confirm what I was seeing before. And what's interesting here on this left foot where I saw that the foot was turning out, so if I'm facing you, where I saw the foot was turning out a little bit more on the left side, turning out. On the right side, I'm noticing the back of her heel is now kind of going in. It's essentially like winging in the back of her ankle, that calcaneus. So it's just interesting to see, you know, what she's doing here and then how it looks flat in the front, so how she's making up for that. I love the feet. Feet are so interesting. Okay, then as we go up, looking from the back side, that same thing, going up the line. And then if I'm really looking, and this is me being really anal, I can kind of see she's a little bit to the left. It's not because she has scoliosis or anything. I'm just noticing just a little bit It's so slight. It's not anything I would be concerned about unless she had some sort of symptoms going on. Okay, and then going up. And then right here, scapula are everything. So I'm seeing how far they are. And and right here, I'm at her spine, and I can see already it's more than 3 fingers apart, which means that she has a little bit of strengthening that she could afford, she could take advantage of in this area to help stabilize her shoulder blades for her shoulders. I have still not assessed her movement or anything as a physical therapist, but this is just something you can do just to see where you are at, okay, with things, especially if you're at a place where you don't have access. Okay, so that's what you can do with the shoulder blades. Then you go back up to the shoulder, same idea, just checking the level from behind and even the neck if there's any weird, unusual curvature in one direction or the other. Thank you, Emily. And now will you face the red curtain for me? Side view is where the money is at. I'm obsessed with the side view. For me, the side view tells so much more about the story. Okay, so as I was noting before that her feet were coming in like this, in like that, so that kind of winging thing for arabesque for those dancers. So a lot of that can, and also with her knees coming in, that can have to do with butt weakness, or it could have to do with how your body is placed. We can already see that the way her pelvis is, she's kind of in that, like that butt out, what we call an anterior pelvic tilt, just fancy words for just saying that you're like this and you're tight here. Shows it's demonstrative of some tightness in the front of those hip flexors. And with that tightness, it can be a chain, that trickle-down effect that goes down the leg and causes the knees to go in and causes that pronation of the feet, okay? It can result in knee problems, all that stuff over time if it's not addressed. The big part where it would be addressed is glute strength, which I probably most likely have already said 5 million times, either with you in a phone conversation or in one of these modules. All right, and then also going up, you can look here at the placement of her head. Okay, so you want your ears, let me come because I know the lighting's not the greatest. So we're looking at her ear and I'm looking at this part of her shoulder to see if it lines up, okay? Lines up. And you can see she's a little bit forward, but it's not so much. She's good, she's in pretty good placement. A little bit forward, she could work on a little bit, lifting up and coming more in that alignment. But overall, it wasn't too excessive. I've seen a lot more room for improvement in that area, okay? And I can see already, looking from that side view, she has a little bit of those rounded shoulders with them coming forward, which makes sense to the scapula being so far apart, as I was observing before when I had my fingers in her back and I was noticing it was so far, it was because of the rounded shoulders. Now, if she was pulling it back, they wouldn't be as rounded. All right? It's hard not to correct as I'm saying it, huh? Yeah. And then, of course, always looking at that curve of that spine. Does she have that natural curve? Are there certain areas of her spine where it seems a little flatter than others? Because there is, if you look at, if you Google a picture of a skeleton from the side view, you can see that there is a curve that goes. It's a wave. We're not straight up and down. That's not how we're built. So you want to see how much our body's actually emulating that as we have grown and become the performers we are now. So you can see where there might be some differences in the curvature of your spine in comparison to a generalized picture. But remember, every body is different, which I say a lot. I say that in Cast House all the time, right? Like, I hope I say it too much. I'd like people to remember that. Well, thank you so much. That concludes the posture portion. You can relax. And now we're going to just move on to other things. All right, take care.